Well, driving through Ontario, one thing is very apparent, the focus on green energy. And in the U.S., the loss of Russian oil is causing a resurgence of debate over oil imports. John Phipps has more in customer support.
This is from Gary Morrison, quoting The Watchman. The Department of Energy was instituted on 8/4/77 to lessen our dependence on foreign oil. And now it's 2022, 45 years later, and the budget for this necessary department is at $242 billion a year. It has 16,000 federal employees and approximately 100,000 contract employees. And look at the job it has done. 34 years ago, 30% of our oil consumption was foreign imports. Today, 30% of our oil consumption is foreign imports. Gary, please send me your address for your mug. I checked on these assertions. Some are flat out wrong. The DOE is responsible for U.S. nuclear weapons programs, nuclear reactor production for the U.S. Navy, that's what I was familiar with, energy-related research and domestic energy production and energy conservation. It was created during the oil crisis, which helped politically, but it was soon dominated by their nuclear responsibilities, especially after 3 Mile Island. You can tell by how their budget of $45 billion is allocated. The blue bars are government employees, the green are contractors, mostly in the 17 major research labs like Argonne or Los Alamos. The term contract employee itself is misleading. Contractors are not employees. Ask any Uber driver. Much of the DOE budget is for programs like nuclear weapons research, fusion, alternative energy, and cleaning up stuff. As for our dependence on foreign oil, I know you've seen this before, but I consider net petroleum imports to be the true measure of oil trade. And we've hovered at about zero recently, largely due to fracking and conservation measures. We export a significant amount of finished products like gasoline while importing geographically advantageous crude from nearby countries. At any rate, in 1977, 83% of our oil imports were from OPEC countries. In 2021, it was about 8%. 70% of our imports come from Canada and Mexico. The DOE is not nearly so much about oil as other energy sources and cleaning up nuclear reactors. Between research and market forces, the record of the DOE, with a budget of about 0.5% of the total federal budget and 1/5 that of the Ag Department, is not that bad. Oil independence is a questionable goal for a global commodity, but it did happen under the DOE's watch.
Thanks, John. Well, when we come back, it's a sight that you don't see every day. Machinery lining the National Mall in Washington, D.C. We'll tell you what drove the national display.